All right, folks, let's continue to look at how we use evidence in our essay writing. Last time, we took a look at the SQP structure. That is a signal phrase, a quote, and a parenthetical citation, all within one sentence. We talked about how that signal phrase gives us some background info, some context or introduction to the quote. And then the parentheses is there for citation reasons so we don't commit plagiarism. You might get a sentence like this: Smith states this book is terrific, 102, period. Right? We have that underlined word there that kind of means says more or less, and then the quote. Mix that up a little bit. Smith points out that. Points out still more or less means says, but we get rid of the comma and we have that there, and then it flows into the quote in blue and a parentheses with a period at the end of the sentence. Now we want to be a little more sophisticated like our friend here. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to get rid of the says word. Okay? We want to have a nice smooth sentence at the end of the day. And if we do this right, as you see here, you could read the sentence out loud and the structure of the sentence is so smooth that it makes it hard for a person to know where your words stop and where that other author's words begin. Okay? That's our goal, to make it that smooth. Now maybe the vocabulary would give it away or something, but the structure of the sentence certainly would not. We're going to take examples today from a poem by Anne Bradstreet. She was a Puritan poet and therefore a rebel, because not only was she writing poetry, but she was a woman too. So that was pretty rebellious stuff back in the day. Bradstreet, in her poem, it's basically a love poem, right? Bet you didn't know they could fall in love, but yeah, they could. So here's our example. In Bradstreet's poem, the speaker values her relationship with her husband more than whole mines of gold, line 5, period. Now you can see the signal phrase in red there is pretty long. Then we have the quote and the parentheses. So it's the same SQP formula, right? The difference here is we don't have that says word kind of bashing your reader over the head like, here it comes, dummy, pay attention, right? If I read this out loud and you couldn't see the sentence and the color coding, in Bradstreet's poem, the speaker values her relationship with her husband more than whole mines of gold. You wouldn't know if that whole mines of gold metaphor was something I came up with, and this is all my wording, or whether Bradstreet came up with that. Now, fortunately, it's written and it's in quotes, therefore I'm not plagiarizing, and also you can see a little taste of her style because it shows that it came from her, not from me. But if you just look at the sentence as a whole, if you listen to it as a whole, it flows very smoothly. So that's the goal we're going for today. You still have that PDF that you can use for more details and suggestions. You're trying to write a sentence that includes a quote without using any of those says type words. One tip for you before you get started, don't feel like your quote has to be a whole sentence from the source. You'll notice in my example, more than whole mines of gold, that's not a complete sentence, right? So you don't have to do that either. You can quote as much or as little as you like, but without the says verb. So good luck with that, and we'll be checking in.